We are gathered here today to sip some tea, honey, so make sure you guys have your teacups ready because this tea is what? Piping hot. Hey you guys, it's your girl T and I hope everybody's doing good today. Make sure you guys have your teacups ready because this tea is what? Piping hot. So I want to come on here and talk about the whole Sammie situation, honey. So if you guys don't know who Sammie is, Sammie was that cute, adorable boy, honey, back in the day. My little sister used to be in love with him when his song first came out. But he used to sing that song, The Crazy Things I Do for Love. Check this out. I'll spend every dollar to my name. The crazy things I do for love. Oh my goodness, that was my song back in the day. Me and my little sister used to rock out to that song, even though I was a lot older than her. That was my little sister's song back in the day. I remember she used to play that all the time, and I used to love Sammie. Well, if you don't know, honey, Sammie is all grown up. I was so shocked when I seen him trending on social media, and everybody was talking about him on Instagram this weekend. He was looking hella fierce and hella sexy, okay? He's grown now, so there's no pedo over here. Anyhow, Sammie took to social media and basically he posted something and a lot of people took offense to it without looking at the big picture, okay? So the post that went viral that came from Sammie, he wrote, "So many single baby mamas, very few wives. Somebody stop this trend. Thanks. #SA." So that's what went viral. But what people did not realize is that he wrote more in his post. You know, folks take things and they cherry pick and then they slice and dice shit together and then they feel like they have a story without looking at the entire picture. So many people who are on social media go through this all the time, including myself. And you can't take it personal because some people are just idiots and they're just looking for attention and clicks, okay? But if these same people who are upset and in their feelings, had they gone to his page and actually looked at what he posted, in his original post, he wrote, "Men and women take accountability, #SA." And then he wrote the post that went viral. So folks were dragging Sammie, okay, on his Instagram posts and on social media. They're saying, you know, you're going in on women. That's bullshit. You know, you can't help being a single parent. That's not okay. So Sammie decided to basically get on camera, honey, and address the entire situation and address the drama. So go ahead and check out what Sammie had to say about the situation. I'm going to come back with the rest of my commentary.
In reference to my last post, women that are raising children on their own or a child on their own, I know more than likely you didn't go in that situation thinking you'll be by yourself. So when I say take accountability, let me say be preventative. There's condoms, there's birth control, there's plan B, there's the spirit of discernment, there's intuition, there's research you could do on the man you're sleeping with. Is he a good son? Is he a good uncle? Is he a good brother? Is he family-oriented? Is he God-fearing? Is he supportive? Is he a provider? Does he have morals and ethics? That's what I mean by take accountability. I know you didn't go in that situation thinking you'll be by yourself. Fellas, step up to the fucking plate. Stop creating amazing children and then leaving the woman to take care of the child by herself. But it goes both ways. Men and women, shit gotta be better, man. Love.
All right, so you guys just heard what little Sammie had to say, a.k.a. grown Sammie, honey, because he's grown and sexy, okay, bitch? So anyways, I love what he had to say, okay? And I loved how he said discernment. And I think that's what's missing in this whole social media generation. There's no discernment. You can say something and people will interpret it a million different ways. You know, that's just what it is to be human. And people don't have discernment anymore. If you say something and people don't agree with you, you're automatically some type of phobic. You're against black women. You're a basher. You know, you're this, you're that. And that's the sad part. And I think that, like I always tell you guys, you should be able to look at the whole person, okay? You shouldn't just pick and choose what you don't like and then write that person off because you're not going to agree with somebody 100% of the time. You're not going to agree with me 100% of the time. You might like this video, but then I might say something in another video you may not like. Why would you just cut me off and stop fucking with me just because of one video that you didn't like? It's the same thing. The same thing like I said in the Umar Johnson video. He says a lot of things that I do not agree with. His lifestyle I personally don't agree with because he does promote, you know, marriage in a black family, but yet and still he has 2 black babies' mothers, okay? So there's certain things with Umar Johnson I don't agree with. But when he says things that make sense that I do agree with, I can give him props. And this is the same thing with Sammie. I saw nothing wrong in his original post, and I damn sure did not see anything wrong in his explanation. And this is coming from somebody who you guys know is a single mother, okay? And of course, we all come into single parenthood differently. Some girls were out there just, fucking people willy-nilly, didn't know who the baby daddy is. And she's like, you know what, I'm going to raise my kid. I'm going to raise my child myself. That's some people's situations. Other people were in, some type of relationship, and the guy just decided he didn't want to be a father anymore and walk away. Other folks like me were actually married. You know what I'm saying? And you end up going through a divorce, and the person that you had a child with just really, because you don't want to be with them and, the marriage is over, they kind of not only cut off you, they also cut off the children. So people come into single parenthood different ways, okay? So instead of being offended, be open to what that young man was saying. I wasn't offended by anything he said because it's true. We have to have discernment about the people that we're with. And I think a lot of times there are signs, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times there are signs, but as human beings, and especially as women, we ignore them because we want to be loved. You know what I'm saying? We want somebody to fill that void. We're all human. Nobody wants to just be alone for the rest of their life. So a lot of times we'll ignore certain things. We'll accept things that we know are not right. You have women who will allow their guys to cheat on them and have side chicks just to say that they have a man. So there's a lot of character flaws that we see in people, and we accept it because we don't want to be alone. And the same for men. Look at Rob Kardashian. He knew Blac Chyna was a hood rat, but because he was depressed, he didn't want to be alone. He didn't mind because he was getting the attention that he needed. He was getting the sex that he needed. So he was willing to look past all that. And then when it came back to bite him in the ass, now he's in his feelings. Okay, so there's a lot of warning signs on both sides for men and women that sometimes we choose to ignore. And if you choose to ignore something, then you have to take personal responsibility for being in that situation. But with that being said, that does not negate the fact or make it okay for that other parent to walk away and not step up and take care of their children. And I think that's the sad part. It doesn't matter if your baby's mother was a hood rat, because you knew she was a hood rat before you chose to get up in there, hit it raw, and get her pregnant, okay? It doesn't matter if he was a bum-ass dude because you knew he was a bum-ass dude before you decided to jump up on that peen and ride that bitch like a pony, okay? My damn Genuine voice. Come in, jump on it, jump on it, jump on it, baby, yeah. So again, there's lots of signs. And then like he said, there's preventative measures. If you know that you're messing with somebody who ain't shit, but the dick is good, then maybe you should be on birth control, okay? If you know you're messing with the chick who's a hood rat, but she knows how to put it on you, maybe you should strap up so you don't get in that situation. As adults, we have to take personal responsibility and stop creating life and stop having children that, one, we can't afford, and that, two, are going to grow up in broken homes, because it's a lot better for children to grow up in a two-parent household if that two-parent household is healthy. But we understand that things happen, relationships dissolve, people don't get along, people sometimes have to separate, and that's fine. But just because you separate or go through a divorce or decide that you guys don't want to be together does not mean that you separate from your children, okay? So I'm glad that he addressed the men, because so many times you'll have men, especially black men, come online and they only address the women. Everything's a woman's fault. Everything's on the black woman. The black woman ain't shit. And they say nothing about the men. At least Sammie stepped up and also called out the men. Stop creating these wonderful babies, these talented babies, these beautiful babies, and then walking away from them and then starting a whole nother life and a whole nother family with a whole nother chick. But yet and still, you don't forget about your first family. You got a lot of men who do that as well. So I'm very appreciative to this young brother for what he said. Everything he stated was wise and beyond his years, okay? And from what I see, he doesn't have a child, nor does he have a bunch of baby mamas out here. So who better to give this speech than somebody who's not in the situation? If he was out here with 6 kids by 6 different women, I would definitely tell him to have a tall glass to shut the fuck up. But he's actually doing what he's supposed to do. He's actually not in that situation. That's all he's saying. And I think instead of people taking offense and getting upset, like the old saying goes, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. And if you are in that situation, it's just about taking personal responsibility. It doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't mean that you should walk around in shame with your head held down. It just means that, okay, fine, you were in this situation, you had a child, you know what I'm saying, you're a single parent right now. So what can you do to prevent you from being a single parent for a second, third, and fourth time and being in even more poverty and struggling and things like that? That's what he's saying. The thing is, we all have to learn from our mistakes. So if you make a mistake, and I'm not saying that children are mistakes, so please don't think that. What I'm saying is, if you get yourself in a situation where you get with a nothing ass dude or a nothing ass female and y'all have a child together, okay, it happened. Mistakes happen. Raise your children. Do the best you can as a parent. But there's no reason for you to find yourself to be a single mother or a single father 2, 3, and 4 times by 2, 3, and 4 different men. At some point in time, you have to look at yourself and realize there's something wrong with you, that you keep on having children and creating children, and you keep getting left by different men.
You just look right in here, look in there, and you see that you're doing too much.
So that's what he's saying. Take accountability. Even if you make mistakes, it's okay, but learn from those mistakes. Don't keep repeating them. And then when folks, try and give you advice, you're mad, you're flippant, I'm saying, you're dismissive. That's not okay, because at the end of the day, you're bringing real children into this world that are being really affected by your real action. At the end of the day, your experience in life should be about growth and changing as needed. You know what I'm saying? And the Shade Room, they posted something really good this morning that I really did like. They had posted, you're allowed to both be a masterpiece and a work in progress at the same time. And I think that's what a lot of people don't realize. A lot of people will cherry pick shit and take stuff from your past and say, well, you did this back then, or you said this back then. And it's like, okay, that was 4 or 5 years ago. Who gives a flying fuck? What am I saying and doing now? A lot of people like to hold people's past actions against them. And I'm not about that life. I can call somebody out for doing something wrong. And then when they, rectify the situation or they're doing something better, I can also give them props. And I think a lot of people don't do that. They just rather constantly put shit over your head or constantly say, you did this or you said that. So because you said something 4 or 5 years ago, that's who you are today. And I think that's bullshit. At the end of the day, like the Shade Room says, we're allowed to be masterpieces and a work in progress at the same time. And that's just a part of being a human being. And that's a part of going through this human experience called life. So shout out to Sammie. I'm so glad to see this young brother out here dropping jewels, spitting knowledge. And don't let anybody shame you from your stance or make you feel bad. Like we say in the South, a hit dog will holler. To all them folks who were offended in their feelings by what he posted, if the shoe fits, rock it, bitch. Okay? So anyways, y'all, let's go ahead and get the discussion popping. Go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this entire situation concerning Sammie. How do you feel about what he posted on social media? How do you feel about his video? Do you agree with him? Do you disagree with him? Do you feel like he's disrespecting single parents, especially single mothers? Or do you feel like what he's saying is honest and truthful? You know what I'm saying? And that we do need to learn from our mistakes and we need to look for signs before we get ourselves in those situations. So let's go ahead and get the discussion popping. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that like button and make sure you click that bell so you can be down with the notification squad, honey. So let's go ahead and get the discussion popping. Go ahead and leave a comment. All right. Deuces. Hey you guys, it's your girl T. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share my videos. You can also visit Lovelyti.com to purchase any merchandise. Also, don't forget to click the boxes down below to watch any of my previous videos. Talk to y'all later. Deuces.